I'm slow, man. I've raced you to Iridia.
No, this game doesn't have multiplayer.
Would have been cool. I would have played multiplayer.
When was the last time they did multiplayer? It was
Q-Force.
there was Q-Force, which was kind of a MOBA-esque type gameplay.
Tower defense.
And then there was, of course, Ratchet Clank 3, and Gladiator.
Yeah. All for one, of course.
So they've actually done multiplayer quite a bit, I guess. But out of those...
But they either integrate multiplayer as a main thing, or they don't do it these days. So we're doing the same mission right now. I'm using
And
the
you can see just the
pyrometer.
mood in mine.
Yeah.
And just the lighting.
Mine just is bland and dark. Now, those things that produce them, they look so much bigger and badder on the new one.
Yeah.
And they're so much easier to kill on this.
Now, did you notice later in the game with...
Did you notice that there's a gold bolt behind this rock?
Yes.
But is it a gold bolt for you?
I think it is. Oh, yes.
I think it is.
Yes, it is.
I remember it being one.
Oh.
So,
Whoop.
in some ways, it almost feels lazy that they reuse the same hiding places.
Well, they've reused the level design.
I know, but in other ways, so many people, this is going to be their first Ratchet and Clank. They're not going to know the hiding places. If anything, it's rewarding nerds like me for remembering the layout of a game from 14 years ago. There's no other way to put that, really.
Mr. Jacket is mentioning the My Blaster Runs Hot multiplayer.
Oh, that's different, because that's not gameplay. Well, then if you're looking at it that way, Ratchet and Clank 2 had multiplayer with the sheep minigames and the extras menu. And the Synthenoid version of is it Asteroids? I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I've got the Bouncer.
Bounce is a good Ratchet and Clank 2 game.
This is a very
Close to
useful
our hearts.
weapon in this game.
It's a lot. I think it's a lot more useful here than in the old games, because here the range is further but easier to hit your target. I remember having trouble hitting my target from long range with the bouncer in 2.
Well, they've kind of got that auto-locking, this general bomb,
It's really nice.
which makes it feel less like a shooter, really. It is more of a... And I kind of forget how much of a platformer Ratchet and Clank is. Like how much jumping you actually have to do around platforms.
Yeah.
There's a fair amount. I always kind of feel like there's not really that much. There may be a few little
That makes
sections.
platforming.
But it comes up
There it
fairly
is.
frequently.
Wait, I'm gonna get all these bolts. I'm not running from the one sand shark. I'm leaving him alive so I can collect the bolts in peace.
So someone wants to know kind of the weapons that are in this game. How
Can
many
I
of
rattle
you,
off all 15?
Well, how many... We can go over, like, how many are new versus how many have existed either directly in a previous game or in some form. So you've, of course, got the Combustor.
Yeah, that's been not quite a series staple because it wasn't in a Kraken time, but it's been very common in Ratchet and Clank games since.
What did they have in a cracker time?
Constructor pistol.
Yeah, they've just... And then Warmonger.
The Pyrocita makes an appearance, which is what I was using here, but in
And
Ratchet.
I'm using here in my fire. It's just...
There's no bomb glove, but there's the fusion grenade, which has also been regular enough since
They don't need to
tools.
reinvent the wheel.
Since the future.
I did quite like the change for the Pixelator. Is that what it's called, Pixelator?
Yeah.
Which is that kind of your blitz gun,
Yeah, blitz gun,
shot cannon.
magma cannon. No, not magma cannon. I think the magma cannon was Gladiator.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
That is my kind of favorite type of weapon.
I don't know. I didn't use that kind of shotgun weapon this much, and I think maybe it's just
I didn't use it quite as much
because I felt like I was not appreciating the visual quality of the enemies as much when they were being pixelized.
Sheepinator, of course.
Sheepinator is a recurring one. So if we want to go for new weapons, then so far that's one we're listing, the Pixelizer.
But even then, it's
similar, but we're not looking at
stuff.
archetypes. We're looking at weapons here.
Weapons.
Zircon's back, also originated in Tools of Destruction. My memory. We have the Bouncer, as we've mentioned before, and that's a Ratchet and Clank 2. The Pyrocitor is not the only Ratchet and Clank 1 weapon to make it back. The Agents of Doom also make it back, and in a pretty cool fashion. I haven't fully upgraded them with Raritanium, but in this you'd launch them out and 4 of them would come out. So far with my Raritanium, there we go. I upgraded it so that instead of firing out 4 of these little dudes at once, it fires out 6. So that's really cool.
The game on the left is the original Ratchet and Clank from 2002.
Someone asking that?
Yeah, just Ratchet and Clank. That's the title of it.
I mean,
and the one on the right is the new one,
and
also called Ratchet and Clank.
And if you're looking at this, you'll see that these are in fact the same levels, except one looks way cooler than the other. See, look at that. Look at that. Yours.
All the explosions.
Yeah, yours has more scaffolding and construction work. So we're going to go left or right first.
Let's
go left.
Oh, you got this thing first.
Left. I want to go left.
Left, yep.
If you're me, equip your swing shot. If you're Caleb, you have to just automatically have it, which is such a hassle.
And you've got to use up your quick select with your.
Yeah. Or you can just manually.
That's such a pain. Really.
Just before we go any further, just look at this. Look, it's green. It's green for gadgets. This is the only game that has that. The other ones that use gadgets, they have the same coloring as the weapon icons. So this one, it's green for gadgets. So
Yeah, I agree. The lighting is just top notch.
The lighting, you don't realize how much of a difference lighting makes until you.
You don't realize how much of lack of lighting the old one has.
Well, it's just because you haven't heard enough of it from the internet. Because some people on the internet are making a big deal about it, but RuneScape's had a big client update, and all of a sudden they have dynamic lighting, and then you go back to the Java client, and you're like, oh wow. I mean, yeah, RuneScape's been like this for years and years and years. It just I've got it now, and after 3 days, I don't want to give it up.
Someone's asking if you're going to get the swing shot skill point.
No, I'm not, because I'm taking my time for the sake of comparison. But I am. Actually, no, that's in the final room. Yeah, I could get that. The skill point, if memory serves correct, is not to touch the ground once in the final room. So let's try it. Yes, I am going to get the skill point. Now, here's another point of difference. So Caleb's just going through that room. Now, astute watchers will see that there's a gadget in the middle. I get the Trespasser here. Caleb gets the Hydro Displacer. But something funny, don't do anything, Caleb. I don't need this help desk message. Watch this. There's a gold bolt underneath. Now, if you would jump down and swim underneath... Oh, wait, no, there we go. So even though the rooms have these dramatic differences...
Oh, I'm going to die.
They, still, funnily enough... Did you get the gold bolt?
Yes.
Even though they've got these huge differences, they still conform to that same principle.
I think I did get it.
Let's hide the gold bolt there. Now I'm going to have to go...
yeah, look at that. Maybe I should have displaced the water first.
Yeah. So I don't get the Hydro Displacer for a while still.
Wow, the water. I remember it was in... I think it was in a Crack in Time, and they were making a big deal about the water. They had a new water system for a Crack in Time.
They had a new water system for Ratchet and Clank too. Now, the Trespasser is a really cool thing to compare.
Are they the same puzzles?
No, they're not. because the new one adds a fourth ring and the ability to turn rings on and off.
Which is quite useful.
Yeah, I thought, oh wow, they've put so much effort into the trespasser. Oh wow! So someone on the Twitch screen is agreeing with me. The NXT client is amazing. I'll take a quick diversion and talk about that.
It does look better.
I have a computer that's too powerful for what I use it for. I use it for powerful things sometimes, but I'm quite casual. And, putting everything in max settings, max draw distance, and on a 4K monitor, it's just amazing. Mm-hmm.
Where are you at the moment? Oh, you're still in that bit.
Oh, wait, why did I go back up? Oh, so you've gone the other way now? Yep. Oh, I see. I got lost. It's amazing how easily I get lost in a game that I sort of have the layout memorized for.
That's what happens when you don't pay attention.
Yeah, I was looking at the stream. Guilty as charged. Oh, 2 bomb gloves. Costs me 10 bolts to kill him. Hate rationalizing it like that. It takes you this amount of money to kill this enemy.
That was a very silly death.
Oh, you're on 2. Oh, you're on 3 because you died in the water pit. I'm only on 1.
Well, that was because I wasn't looking.
Oh, no. Oh, I thought there was going to be another death.
Okay, so you are...
It's really funny when you look and you go, I remember that exact stack of crates. So,
okay, so here's the elevator. So I'll get on it first, because I'm slightly ahead. Okay, yep. It's my elevator.
They seem pretty similar. I mean, yours is so atmospheric and so nice.
Yes.
And mine's just like dark blue tone.
That's the atmosphere, man, that dark blue.
Dark blue tone. The only place that has atmosphere in this game is flipping Orxon, and that's because the blag polluted it.
That's a green tone, that one.
Yep. It was such a lame joke I just made. I hope any longtime fans of the series are going to really appreciate that one. Because if you're new to the series now, I'm sorry, you don't get Orxon, so... Well, just to go over the RuneScape graphics thing, it's a game that used to be 2D. So, for it to...
If they did a 2D Ratchet and Clank, what do you think that would look like?
It'd be a lot more linear, for obvious reasons.
Orxon was an annoying level. I found it annoying because there was so much. It was the Magnum Boot sections. I think there were so many Magnum Boot sections, and they were so useless in the first one.
That was the thing. This is the new Ratchet and Clank is the second Ratchet and Clank to have Magna Boots, as opposed to Gravity Boots.
Yeah,
which is odd.
But they are the same thing pretty much. Except one you can jump, and this one you can jump.
Yeah, but this one I'm pretty sure it does slow down your movement speed a bit.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And that jumping wasn't the issue for me. It was the slow movement speed that drove me insane.
Yeah,
it wasn't as bad.
They were all around kind of annoying.
So just to be clear, I'm not going for every single gold bolt. I know. I mean, you could just see it on the corner of the screen there, but I just really can't be bothered. Especially since I've got the longer game, so I've got more time than I need to make up. So, side objectives, at least some of the time can stay to the side. There are some side objectives on this one that are main objectives in the new one, so I will do those for the sake of comparison. So, someone said Eudora was their favourite, well, not their favourite, but a planet they really liked, so we're heading there now. Well, I'm hitting
Captain Cork Vid Comics, do they count as 2D Ratchet and Clank?
No, because they don't. He doesn't have the same sort of arsenal. Doesn't have the same weapon. So that's a Drek just being
Like imagine having the helipack and
See, that's the guy I think Victor Von Iron is based off of. Either way, they don't
this guy
really
here.
contribute much to the story. He gets a cool robotic cigar though. And it looks like it's just got a little LED light poking out of it, so that's cool.
What did you think of the overall length, like playing it compared to previous?
The overall what?
The overall game length of this Ratchet and Clank. Like there's some levels that are missing. There's an overall length for the game.
I don't know about the other Ratchet and Clanks, but in terms of recent Ratchet and Clanks, no. Let's look at the last full game, A Crack in Time. A Crack in Time, I felt was a bit shorter than most. But that's because I was comparing Ratchet planets, and the fact of the matter is that actually there's a lot of Clank gameplay in A Crack in Time, and there are a lot of these small little moons you can do. But if we're just looking at the strict campaign story, I think the new one's proper length. I mean, the problem with me and Ratchet and Clanks is they're good games and they always feel too short because they're so good.
So where should I go next?
Well, don't go to Blackwater.
I could do the hoverboard, which is going to be a better comparison. What do people watching think? What planet should I go to next? Because we want to look at just comparing.
Let me try and compare
levels. So you can compare like Blackwater City. We want to compare the hoverboard races next to each other.
Okay, if we don't really, I love Blackwater City. It's got the amoeboids, and actually, my brother and I made a really funny joke about the amoeboids the other day. It was a tag team joke actually, but I'll save it for when we actually get there.
So, yeah, Nebula G34.
You see, Nebula's got a really good point that I'd like to compare, but for me, that point is so much further away than for you. So I think we should just try and...
So I should go to Nebula?
I think you should go to Nebula. Let's see if the chat said anything.
Jacket thinks you should get the suck cannon.
Don't get the suck cannon.
Is that an optional objective?
Is what an optional objective? Yeah, I don't remember which is which though. So,
like this planet would be quite good to compare because of some of the Clank gameplay.
Oh yeah, this game's.
I'll just stare out the window for a little while. Look at that.
I really don't remember which way is the suck cannon. Yeah, that. The thing is, some of these levels now have different color palettes and color tones and all that.
And environments.
Yeah. Which isn't a bad thing. But I mean, I always pictured that as having more of a blue tinge, I guess, and now it's got this glowing, faint orange, which is really pretty. I don't have a problem with it. It's just different. So, I can understand...
Jacket says don't go this way.
Too bad, I'm going this way. I need the suck cannon.
Well, yeah, okay, but it's an optional.
Okay, well, I need it.
It depends how long it's going to take.
Shouldn't take too long. I'm pretty skilled. If I die once, then I'll quit. Plus, I need the bolts for other weapons. So,
did they have this kind of color palette for space? Because, like in all the future stuff, especially like A Crack in Time, you have this kind of atmospheric space.
Is gorgeous.
You got this atmospheric space.
I don't think I've actually seen a game with prettier space than A Crack in Time. Like in terms of a place where you're actively exploring. Could just be my opinion.
Yeah, this looks pretty decent.
Ratchet and Clank currently is my favorite example of stylized graphics on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
That said, Kingdom Hearts 3 from trailers I've seen looks absolutely gorgeous.
It's not out yet, though.
It's not out yet. And Kingdom Hearts 3 is the kind of game that has actually a lot more variance in its visual look, in its visuals, because of all the different worlds you go to. So, for I guess a more coherent package, Ratchet and Clank would win. If we were to make that comparison. You know, when you get further ahead, you could always kill time by collecting telepathopus brains.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Good with
And I haven't even done that yet.
yeah.
But I'll need to do it again on my save game.
Do you know what the reward is for that?
There's a
Spoilers?
no. I think I know what it is.
What is it?
It's the magnet thing, isn't it?
The box breaker.
The box breaker.
So, there's a bonus objective in the new game that lets you do the X square sort of attack and then break all bolt crates in the surrounding areas. That ability to break the crates first showed up in 2. But the ability to collect bolts from a further distance first showed up in 1. But you had to collect them as 2 separate items in 2. In 3, they were 1 combined item. And then in most games since, they've been 1 combined item, but not all. It's certain there was 1 weird outlier.
The tele what?
Telepathopuses.
It is kind of random, right?
It sounds like a telepathic platypus, but it doesn't even look like a giant.
Telepathopuses.
Doesn't even look like a flippin' platypus. That was the only big disappointment. Now, just as a
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Just a whole bunch of giant platypuses, and you're like
with
collecting
big brains.
Yeah.
Just as a side note, when I first got here, I thought that thing down there was a boss because of just how big and bad he looked. And then we got here, and we pulled out our weapons, and he went down pretty quickly. Oh, Glove of Doom. So I remember my first playthrough thinking the Pyrocida was actually a relatively useless weapon, but those of you watching will have seen that it is the weapon I've used most this playthrough. I have a friend. He loves flamethrowers, so when he watches these episodes once they're on YouTube, he'll be proud of me.
We should get
Oh, wow. Yeah, there was only 1 flamethrower in the whole like PS2 era, and then they've been almost, not quite, almost a staple since. Actually, I don't know if that's true. I know they were in Tools of Destruction, but I don't think they were in A Crack in Time. Oh, I can't remember. I guess it's hard to keep a database of 11 Ratchet and Clank games in your head.
It gets a little bit of a struggle after a while.
Yeah, when it was just before on PS2, that was fine.
It's crazy that it's a PS2 series started off, but so little of the games have been on PS2 in reality.
Well, 2 of them were ported to PS2.
Yeah, if you're going to count that, but even then,
they were PSP games.
Like on the PS3, what we've got: Tools of Destruction, Quest for Booty,
Crack in Time.
Crack in Time.
Give me a second. All for One.
All for One.
Q-Force or Full Frontal Assault, depending where you're from. Into the Nexus.
Into the Nexus. So 6.
6. Yeah, so most of them.
Is there another one?
It's not another one.
Is there another one? There could be. There's a lot of them.
Uh-uh.
No, I think that's it. So
those are
number 13 or something.
So those are 6 on the PS3. 6 on the PS2, but 2 of those were originally developed as PS2 games. So there's the suck cannon, sucks in small enemies, and then you fire them back out. Isn't that fun?
So this is like the 13th game then?
This is, lucky number 13, and it's... I figured it out. That's why they did a reboot. Because they knew it'd be unlucky to make a brand new game first on PS4. Oh, we can't do that. That's the 13th. So they strategically remade this. Oh, should I get the Glove of Doom?
Yeah, that's quite useful, isn't it?
Because it is, but it's also I'm thinking for the sake of comparison.
Yeah, I didn't get to a lot later.
Yeah, I know. I've gotten it now. Maybe now that I've got a few decent weapons, I think I'm going to hold back on weapons till I get the hypnomatic. I can get a discount. Wait, that doesn't even go anywhere. I've been tricked. Here's our lovely friend, the Trespasser.
I quite like Nexus. Did you like Nexus?
Nexus was cool.
Yeah, no, it was short. And the price reflected that.
I never said anything about it being a bad game ever.
Yeah.
My big complaint about Nexus was that it felt like a full game, but it was as short as a not full game.
It may be the most open world of in a sense, not really open world, but kind of open, reasonably large levels, kind of just exploring around, collecting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the levels are kind of like that, right?
Wait, and what? Sorry.
At Nexus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which kind of gave it a little bit more gameplay in a way. You know, it was nice to kind of finish things off as well.
The thing is, they said it was like an epilogue to the future sort of franchise, and I'm just like, but what are the story beats it's going with? I'm just like, how does it really connect? And if I have to be honest, because you had 2 half games and 2 full games in the whole future franchise, and if I have to be honest, Quest for Booty didn't really add anything. It's just like, you could sum up that whole story in we found out where Clank is, sort of thing. And that could have been just said, we figured it out in a cutscene. And
well, Quest for Booty was much more of a tech demo.
It was a tech demo.
Let's create a great story.
Look. The thing is, the flippin', was it the Versa wrench? The magnetic wrench? Whatever. Those things they did in Quest for Booty, I hated it. I hated all the weird things they were doing with the wrench. Then they brought back those same features in a crack of time, but they had worked on it and refined it, and they were so good. Yeah. So I'm glad they got it all working in Quest for Booty. So you're just literally sitting there.
I'm just going to watch you play. Respond to people in the chat.
Yeah, that's not going to work, is it? Okay, so those have to go.
So what level's after this?
For me?
Yeah.
The one you're on.
Okay. Now I can wait. And then we go to Blackwater City.
This isn't working. I'm doing something wrong.
David's posting some salt.
Wait, is he assaulting us? Here we go. I've done it. It took me way too long.
Maybe I should focus on you.
Oh, it's a boss battle. Look at that. You can see it now.
Okay, we will focus on Samuel for this boss battle.
The boss battle. It's a boss battle. Look at that.
See if we can
I'm going to knock that cigar right out of his face.
See if we can get some sound in there.
He laid an egg.
You sure showed him. I suppose I did.
I think the sound might be out of sync, though. Is the sound out of sync, everyone? Oh, now we've got a cutscene.
Yeah, well, I can't be bothered. Should I skip it?
You can do.
It's Drek with his ponytail. Does Drek in the new one even have hair?
I think he's got a ponytail. I don't think he has hair though.
How can he have a ponytail without hair?
He's like,
I've got a suck cannon now, so that makes more sense. Okay, I'm just skipping. You should know much rest of it.
Let's go get some.
Right.
Of course, they changed the way that Ratchet and Clank talk to each other across these two games.
Yeah. Pardon me. Okay. Got my sat cannon. It's the most vital thing because I need it for a boss battle. Okay, Blood Station. Okay, so here is our first full-fledged amoeboid. So David and I were making this joke, right? So here's the Amoeboid. Oh, I used to love listening to that band, the Amoeboids, until they split. It's such a lame joke.
That's
That joke's got some sort of appeal, though.
that's a face palm.